Good morning, Mindful Monday for March 15th. Um, so we just hit a really interesting landmark, the 1 year mark of shutting down our schools and really so much of our world because of COVID. And hitting that 1 year mark for me was kind of painful because I never would have guessed a year ago that we would have been apart and isolated for as long as we were. But I think that ties in so perfectly with our theme of empathy right now, because it is this common experience. We all shared this experience together, and so the challenges and the struggle that went along with the past year and that continue with concerns about people's safety and health and our community and our schools, all of those things, we share that. Everyone has had a part of that shared experience, and we've all had our individual struggles as well. So one of the things with empathy is that, again, it's that ability to connect to the feelings of another person. Sometimes that's easier to do when it is a shared experience. So I would invite you to just settle into your comfortable seated position. I'll grab my breathing ball. My shirt today is Born to be Loved, and I think that's appropriate for the theme of empathy because, again, in terms of shared experience, that's something that we all hope for and that we all want and deserve in our lives, is to feel loved and to feel supported and connected to others. So we'll go ahead and take our 3 deep breaths together. Roll up your shoulders, down your back, sit up straight. Take a deep breath in and out. Really feel that air just filling up your lungs. One more. So go ahead and close your eyes, and I want you to just reflect on what this past year has been. Reflect on what it felt like when you learned that we would be away from school, at first for just a few weeks, and then until the end of the year. And reflect on what that felt like at first, with the knowledge that we would be trying something completely new with doing school online and trying to stay connected virtually. And some of us did that really well, and some of us really struggled with that. There were some silver linings too. And for some of you, I hope that was more time with family, more time outdoors, more time with your pets at home. But we were isolated from each other and from our friends, and I think it's important to acknowledge the pain and the struggle that this past year has been. Last week we talked about the importance of being able to identify our own feelings in order to identify the feelings of another person. And I think that if we're all willing to acknowledge the difficulties that this past year has held. Again, maybe for some of us that's not being able to be at school. Maybe that's a reflection of the time that you had to go without seeing grandparents. Maybe that was someone in your family losing a job and the difficulties that went along with that. There were all different kinds of struggle and suffering in the past year. Perhaps you were someone who lost a loved one due to COVID. And so there's so much to connect to within this common struggle that we all shared, and hopefully so much to connect to within some of the silver linings that came from the shutdown of COVID. One of the things that I think we can all reflect on is not being able to be at work and at school and being apart from each other made me appreciate it all the more once we could be back together. On my way into school this morning, I saw some of our previous Madison students who are now in high school, and they were out there waiting for the bus. And that's a new thing that just started last week or the week before, and it was so beautiful to see them and to hear how happy they are to be back at school. So I'd like us to reflect on that too, just the value of being together and coming back together after this, really difficult period in our world. This is a time that none of us will ever forget. And so I hope it's just a reminder of the different ways we can connect to the feelings of another person and support them through our own self-compassion too, our ability to recognize our own pain and our own struggle and to see that in someone else. And again, just that wish, may I be well, may I be peaceful, may I be happy. May you be well, may you be peaceful, may you be happy. And let's all just support each other in that and look for those silver linings, even when times are really hard. Empathy is one of the best ways we can create that for another person. So I hope you'll do that, and I'll see you all this week.